Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In today's video, what we're going to do is try to clean this filthy compensator with the Slip2000 carbon killer. Stay tuned to find out the results. Okay, now this compensator is super dirty. I've already taken it off of the Ruger Mark IV 22/45 light that I have. I have never cleaned this since I've gotten it, which is about 3 months, I would say, which means it probably has about 2,000 to 3,000 rounds through it. And I'll throw some pictures up alongside of this because I really want you guys to see how dirty this stuff is caked on. You can see in these ports how there's just so much carbon buildup there. It kind of looks like frost buildup when you're driving in an ice storm on your car. And I don't know, kind of like icicles and stuff. And then on the inside, it's lumpy. Have you ever been to caves, for example? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to explain. Those little things that drip from the ceilings, all lumpy, long little brown icicles. Well, that's what this looks like. So you can see that this stuff is really, it's like welded on to the compensator. I mean, I'm scratching it and it's turning like silver color, but it's definitely no joke here how hard and how much buildup there's on this compensator. You're not picking that off with the pick or your thumbnail. So basically, I think this is going to be one of those torture tests, but a torture test for the Slip2000 carbon killer. We're really going to find out what it's made of, okay? So I already have a bunch of this stuff, which I think would be a great container to soak it in. If you don't have something like that, you can always find these little jars or things that you might have even around the house. This one was just one of the old gym supplement containers that I've turned into holding some of the Slip2000, and that specifically is the Ultra Thinn gun lube. But what I'm going to do today is I will soak this in Slip2000 and I'm going to go eat dinner. Maybe that's about 30 minutes of soak time in this. If I still can't get it off as well or as clean, then what I'm going to do is put the carbon killer in my ultrasonic cleaner and do that until it does get clean or clean enough where I can scrape off or rub off any of the carbon. So my hope is that the carbon killer is going to work and at least dissolve this enough and penetrate it enough to at least scrape it off. I don't know if it's going to be able to get everything off in one cleaning without any additional scrubbing or scraping, but that's what we're going to find out. What is this carbon killer made of? Once this is already clean, hopefully at the end of the video, my plan is to use this Ultra Thinn gun lube, which is made for ultrasonic cleaners. So if you don't know much about it, just YouTube or Google ultrasonic lubrication. Basically, after you use the ultrasonic cleaner for cleaning your guns, then you can swap that fluid out or you get another ultrasonic cleaner and just use gun oil in that and put all of your gun components in there. The ultrasonic cleaner will really help lubricate all of the porous material, all of the nooks and crannies inside of every gun part that you have. And that'll make sure that everything soaks in well, gives you a lot longer lifetime of the components and a lot easier cleaning at the end of the day. Tandemkross also says that they coat their compensators with a proprietary coating, I guess it's called, a proprietary coating that is supposed to help you clean your compensators a lot more efficiently, effectively, and easier. So I don't know, we'll see if it really works, if even Tanemkross lives up to their name, right? So we have a lot of things to test or check out, so let's go ahead and get on with it, okay? All right, so here's the compensator. I have one of these fancy doohickeys. I don't know where I got it. It might have came with the ultrasonic cleaner so you can pick things up and out of there. If you have this carbon killer, make sure you shake it really well. This has been used a lot. It's a little bit off green now. It used to be a little bit darker green. This is the newer stuff. You can see it needs shook up, but I don't need to because I already have some here. And if I need to use the ultrasonic cleaner, I have more in this bottle, which I'll shake up, and both of these should be enough to fill up the ultrasonic cleaner. All right. Okay, so then I'm going to take this compensator, like I said, super dirty, hook that in there like that, and then we're just going to drop it in there. Okay, and now what we're going to do is I'm going to go eat. We're going to let this soak. I'll let you know how long it's soaked, and we'll go ahead and see if there's been any improvement on that carbon buildup and see if any of it's come off on its own, or if it's soft enough to scrape the rest of it off. If it's not, then we'll use the ultrasonic cleaner until it does. All right, we are back after about 40 minutes or so of the Tandemkross soaking in the carbon killer, and I have not taken it out, so I'm just going to stir it up a little bit and pull it out and see how it looks. Okay, so obviously you still see this black carbon buildup on the compensator. So let me take this off. Don't spill that. Let's see if some of this starts to flake off or if it's softer. And it is not coming off as easy as I thought it might. I mean, it does look like some of it has come off, but I think we're going to need the ultrasonic cleaner to heat this up and use the power of ultrasonic cleaning to start to break some of that stuff down, okay? I have used this stuff on my V6 muzzle brake on the ATI Bulldog, and that worked really well, and that one I did put in the ultrasonic cleaner. So let's go ahead and do that real quick, because this is not going to come off easily for me to do a quick cleaning on. Okay, so I just poured in the carbon killer and all of what I had in here into the ultrasonic cleaner, and I've got the Tandemkross compensator in there now. So we're going to just turn it on, and it only can go up to 10-minute increments. So my plan is to actually do this for probably 30 minutes, just because it does take a little bit of time for the solution to heat up, and the longer the ultrasonic cleaner runs, then the hotter the solution gets. So go ahead and turn it on, and then I'll come back after a few cycles, and then we'll take a look at it and see what it looks like after 30 minutes. If after that it's not coming off better, then maybe I'll do another 30 minutes, and then even after that doesn't work, then I might switch over to the ultrasonic cleaning solution, the specific solution from Slip2000 for this. And even if that doesn't work, then it's time probably to take my razor blade out and try to physically scrape the heck out of it and get that carbon buildup off. All right, I'm back, guys. So this stuff, let's take a look at it. It's super hot. I can feel it, especially when you keep the lid on it. It stays really hot in there, and it's quite hot on the compensator, but let's try to get it out and see what we can see. All right, if you just look into there, you can still see a lot of that gummed up. Now, I don't even know, is it carbon still, or is it like molten metal now? Like when you scrape it, you can kind of see copperish, shiny looking stuff. And is that like the copper from the bullet that's kind of melted on the compensator, or what? I don't know. Even with this pick, it's kind of too hot to handle still, but even with this pick trying to scrape it, the light stuff kind of comes off, but all this really hard and caked on stuff really is not coming off. And it looks like it's just part of the compensator now. Like it's smooth, it's completely smooth from the edge to where the contamination starts. Okay, here a little bit of the scraping is working. Okay. You kind of have to find an edge to kind of like scrape that off, but this thing is so hot, it's kind of hard to handle. And when you do that, it seems to come off a little bit easier than before we used the carbon killer. So I have this knife, and let's see if I can kind of help scrape that off. Okay, got a chunk out of it. Look, a lot of this chunk just came out. I don't even know if anything can penetrate that. I don't even, if Slip2000 carbon killer can't penetrate that hard caked on carbon, then I'm not sure, or maybe lead too, I'm not sure anything can. Other than that chemical stuff that you can read online about that can be poisonous as far as the gases go. But yeah, it broke off a lot of those chunks. So I think the lesson learned here is don't let your compensator get this bad like I did, trying to see if I could prove a point with the cleaning solution. But yeah, that knife really took off a huge chunk there, so that's good. I just have to do that to the rest of it, and then we'll see what else we can do. The plan would be then to lubricate this with Slip2000 Ultra Lube, and then maybe use the Moly Lube, the dry Moly Lube, coat it all in there as well. So the next time you get carbon buildup and lead buildup, it should come off a lot easier, because now that stuff is stuck to the oil and the Moly Lube versus the actual physical compensator. You know, we did our best here with carbon killer, which I know works very well because I've done it on the V6 muzzle brake, and look at this, I just got a huge chunk that broke off. Look at that. That is like a piece of metal. Like, it's so, like this side of that was on the inside of the compensator, and that's all smooth. It's like molten metal. Like, the compensator got so hot after shooting a lot, and all of the lead and gases and carbon have just kind of solidified all together to make one solid piece of stuff there. But yeah, that came off on this side. Now you can see it's really shiny. So maybe that proprietary coating that was on this compensator did help not have that stuck. To be honest though, I am quite positive and certain that that Slip2000 carbon killer at least is making this job easier than if you don't use it, because this was not, I feel like the heat and the carbon killer has made it a little bit softer, so you can scrape it with like a knife or a pick. But yeah, now it is cleaning up better, so I'm a little bit more pleased on that. They do say that the compensators should be treated like, not like a disposable part, but like a part that's a replaceable part, you know. So when they get so bad and all, there's not really too much sense in continuing to clean it. They just recommend getting a new one. But I think, you know, the left side here is probably as best as I can get. I mean, I'm already chewing up the knife. On the inside, I'm not sure how I can, because there's buildup on the inside of the round, I guess, barrel of a compensator. Obviously, I don't have a knife that'll fit in there, I don't think. Or if I did, I have a small, skinny X-Acto knife, but I don't think that's going to do a good job without breaking the knife. So this pick seems to work a little bit. Okay, I think I generally got as much out as I could with just the knife and what I could do on the inside with a pick. And I think now that I got a lot of it broken off, maybe we give the carbon killer another shot here to see if it can clean it up just a little bit more. As you can see right now, I'm just scraping off the insides of the threads where the threads don't contact the barrel. So those got really dirty. And as you can see, these are a lot better and more cleaned up now. The edges of the vents here. The knife did scratch a little bit of the compensator, but it's not a big deal to me. I don't really care. Not always about looks here, but at least we know in the future that it's better to just continuously clean your compensator, maybe after every range day, or at least, you know, every, I'd say probably 200 to 500 rounds, depending on how dirty your ammunition is. But, you know, this is still going to function just like it was new, even if I did scratch it up, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and throw that back in there again. Turn it on, and we'll come back in a little bit. I'll do 10 minutes. And then hopefully at that point I can clean it up, and then we can get to lubrication, all right? All right, another moment of truth. The compensator, after running in it the third time, as you can see on top of the Slip2000, you get a lot of the oils and stuff that start to float on the top. One good thing, by the way, in order to save it still, is you can get one of these large syringes and soak up from the bottom, trying to avoid soaking up any of that oil when you're trying to save the carbon killer for the next cleaning. So think about that. You can run it through a filter as well. A coffee filter and funnel, which I have here. And wow, that's still super hot. It did clean up those edges and the grooves or the vents there, I think, a lot better, a lot more now. And where's my pick at? Let's find out if we can scrape some more of the stuff on the inside off. I don't think I'm going to get it perfect. You probably never can, you know, as far as it getting to be brand new unless you're cleaning it often, which I think I'm going to start doing just because I like to keep things looking new and nice. But if this gets to a point where it just gets more and more buildup and can't clean it more and more, these compensators aren't too expensive, and I'll probably just buy another one. Oh, see, another big chunk came out right there. It's a little tedious, but depending on how much effort you want to put into this, depends or will determine how clean it gets. I think that's good enough for good functionality still. Let's go ahead and start to set up for putting this in the Ultrasonic Cleaner with Ultra Thinn, which is Slip2000's lubrication solution for the Ultrasonic Cleaner. So as I mentioned, here's the funnel. I'm going to start taking this out. And the reason I started doing this is because when I pour from the Ultrasonic Cleaner into this, I get a lot of spillage and mess because I can't take out the basin. So this will be a lot easier way of doing things. You can still see that the oils are floating on top. And I think the rest of it I'm just going to throw away. It's basically the remaining dirt and oils floating on top. All right, we're ready to do the Ultra Thinn gun lube here. And so this does say specifically for use in ultrasonic cleaners. It's a lubricant cleaner and preservatives. So maybe I'll get some additional cleaning from this as well in that compensator. It says it's proven to work in all conditions and lubricates, cleans, protects, penetrates, bonds, and reduces friction and wear. So I already soaked my bolt from the Ruger in this stuff as well, which I put in here, or you can use this stuff in two ways, either soaking or using it in an ultrasonic cleaner. So just to go through this a little bit, Slip2000 Ultra Thinn Gun Lube is a pure synthetic metal treatment designed to treat gun parts after ultrasonic cleaning, which we've already done. It contains a proprietary anti-wear agent that reduces friction and wear by 80 to 90% and prevents corrosion. For use in all weapons and weapon systems developed with your health and safety and the environment in mind. Lubricates and provides a long-lasting protective coating that reduces friction and metal-to-metal wear, penetrates existing lubricants, rust, and scale. So if there was some additional coating on this, maybe some sort of lubricant from Tandemkross, it said it will penetrate that. It will not harden, become sticky or tacky. It will help to keep lead, carbon, copper, and plastic from sticking. That's the biggest reason why I want to use this on this compensator. Maybe we do a review and a couple more shootings that test to see if this stuff really does what it claims as far as stuff not sticking to this very well. And I will make a better effort to clean this more often. Okay, keeps all guns operating smoother and longer and will help reduce cleanup time. Safe to use on all metal, wood, and plastic parts. It will not attract dust, dirt, or sand or burn off like petroleum products. So that's good that it's not going to burn off once you shoot a lot. Cleans and protects. So we got the lubricates, cleans, and preserves here. So we're going through that. Cleans and protects against corrosion, gets into those hard to reach areas and cuts down under and dissolves built up carbon. So let's see if it can do the rest of it here on this carbon on the compensator. Displaces and floats trapped dirt, grit, and grime away. Gets down deep under copper, lead, and plastic wad fouling and helps float it away. Now we're at preserves. Preserves and provides a long-lasting barrier on metal parts, displaces moisture, and helps prevent rusting and corrosion. I have already used this on the V6 muzzle brake, by the way. And after I took it out of it just soaking, I didn't use the ultrasonic bath, but after I took it out after soaking for about half an hour to an hour, I wiped it down. And then overnight, when I woke up in the morning, I noticed that there was this nice shiny sheen on the surface. And so that tells me that this stuff really soaked in and a little bit of it is coming through to the top of the surface. All right, let's go to talk about how this is recommended. A Slip2000 gun lubricant like EWL should be applied to your gun prior to shooting. So even though you use this, you still want to apply lubrication in all the right areas with the gun lube because you're supposed to technically dry this off after it's done. And so if you put it in like your grooves or whatever on your slide or whatever and you wipe that off, you should apply an additional amount of lubrication there. This is simple to use. Remove cleaned parts from ultrasonic cleaning solution. We already did that. Allow an excess cleaner to drain or drip off while it's dry. Make sure you have cleared all compartments and areas that cleaner may have collected before placing parts in ultra thin gun lube. This is completely dry, everything in the nooks and crannies are. Place cleaning parts in lube and make sure all parts are completely submerged. Allow parts to soak in lubricant for 2 to 5 minutes. Drain and clear all extra lube before wiping down or allowing to dry. For best results, Ultra Thinn gun lube should be used with Ultra Clean Ultrasonic Cleaner, which we've used. That was the previous stuff. I mean, it was carbon killer, but in the end, it's the same kind of product. Now, I have a lot of things that I want to use, so I'm not just only going to use this for the lube, because I have stuff from my P320X5 that I also want to use in the lubrication portion of the ultrasonic cleaning. Now this I got on a discount with the Labor Day sale. So if you want 10% off, go ahead and use my code Delta Alpha Bravo at checkout. It's down in the description. Make sure you check it out. And that's probably high enough. So stuff is expensive, so I don't want to go too crazy on using more than is needed. So I'm going to put the compensator here, the P320 FCU. I'm not going to use that. I don't want that to get all slippery. The barrel, which is a good thing, I think, to keep lubed. And I've never really checked it out with lubrication. This is the very first time you and me are seeing it here first. My very first time of using the ultrasonic cleaner with oil, with lubrication. So as you can see, a lot of these bubbles are starting to form. I see a little bit of cloudiness here, which tells me that there could be some sort of additional contaminants on the firing pin that's coming loose. On the compensator, it's getting a lot of bubbles on the threads, on the insides, down here around the vents. The FCU, that's getting really good there. So let's go ahead and let this run for just 10 minutes, or maybe I'll do another cycle too, because I kind of want the solution to heat up. It's not really hot right now. And we'll come back in a little bit and show you guys the results of the Ultra Thinn gun lube from Slip2000. All right, the lubrication is done. Let's take a look at it. I did throw in my slide after I stopped the video because I want to make sure that's done. Let's take out some of these components. They are super hot again. Another thing about the lubrication process here in the ultrasonic cleaner is that when the oil is hot, it does run off a little bit better. So when you're cleaning, it should be a little bit easier. Other advantages of, as far as ultrasonic lubrication goes, it does a lot better job, they say, versus just soaking. If you're soaking, you're going to be soaking for a long time to get the same effects as you do in a shorter amount of time. Also, with ultrasonic lubrication, you get in all of the nooks and crannies, tight crevices, better than you would than if you were to just soak it. So that's why I've started to get into it, because practically here, I'm really trying to just preserve the parts a little bit longer and have longer longevity and lifetime of the gun parts. I mean, guns aren't cheap, so you better take care of them, right? Unfortunately, this slide isn't short, so we got to go in diagonally a couple times each way to get that sufficiently lubricated. I could fill it up a little bit more and cover more, but I don't want to use more oil. We'll just get the major areas. All right, let's take out the Tandemkross. I kind of want to start the ultrasonic cleaner while I'm talking about the compensator, but it's going to be loud on the audio there, so we'll just wait. So anyway, this is super hot, super slippery, and just curious about if I can remove any more of this black built up carbon and lead, and it looks like you can. I think oil kind of maybe gets slip versus, cleaners trying to break down a product. The oils get underneath them, and you can see I flicked one over here. That's a big chunk that came out of the center of the bore. So, okay, I'm learning as I go here that the Ultra Thinn as an ultrasonic lubrication, look at that, does a good job. I'm going to try to, I'm not lying here. There's a flake that just fell out. This is a flake that I was able to get underneath, and I'm betting that, I wasn't able to get these out as much as I am now, that, the ultrasonic lubrication here is really helping out. Now, to prevent all this extra work and troubles that I'm doing now, it's just going to be much better to just clean this more frequently. Look at that. I just dislodged a huge chunk on the vent here. Oh, there it is. Look at that. I thought it was clean there, but I was able to get another chunk out. So highly recommended that you use, if you can't clean your compensator that well, if you're having problems, after doing as much as you can with Carbon Killer, go ahead and use the Ultra Thinn from Slip2000, and that really breaks down or breaks underneath or gets underneath to loosen this lead and carbon buildup. You know, so that cleaner tries its best to soak through this stuff. I mean, I don't know anything that can soak through dense. I mean, this all used to be vapor and powder, right, coming through the muzzle, and it just over time built up a huge, solid, thick piece of coating all over the barrel or the inside of the compensator. So I don't know what can penetrate that as far as gun cleaners go, but that does help soften it up at least, especially when the ultrasonic cleaning gets hot, and then the Ultra Lube gets underneath it so that you can just pick it off easier. And I'm cleaning the threads right now, and stuff is coming off really easy and fast. I'm really impressed. I really like this stuff. Highly recommend Ultra Thinn. I've never used it before because I've always just thought, you know, cleaning is enough. Normal gun lube is enough just to coat it afterwards. But if you want to really clean something that's super dirty, such as these, definitely do the whole process with ultrasonic cleaning, lubrication and cleaning. So, okay, I'm going to grab a bore brush to see if I can get in there too. I don't know. This is an old 12 gauge one that's all shot to hell anyway, so might as well try it to see if I can scrape it loose. Okay, it's looking good. Try to get it to come through here and turn it. That really cleaned up the thread some more. Use a Q-tip, I think, just to see, look, getting that really clean. This is actually looking like it was when I bought it new. All right, one more dry patch here just to kind of clean it. All right, I'm satisfied with that. So I've used ultrasonic lubrication on this. I think that will work pretty good now as far as giving it a nice barrier to not have the carbon and lead stick on it more next time for easier cleaning. In addition to that, I'm going to spray this Moly lube on, and this is also known to be a good barrier to prevent further buildup as well. So just kind of coat the insides. And you can see it turns gray when it dries. Ooh, that even brings out some more stuff that I didn't see. Scrape that off right there on the edge and reapply. But, you know, on the outside you can clean it up a little bit, but leave the Moly lube on the inside. And that's going to help with the buildup of the carbon. I mean, you'll still get buildup, but that's going to help with the cleaning as far as being able to clean it off. Or maybe if I start seeing a buildup, I can just quickly pick it off versus doing another deep cleaning. So keep that in mind. I will give you some feedback as well. I'm going to shoot this a few more times and maybe make another video of me evaluating how well the Moly lube works and the Ultra Thinn as far as a barrier to prevent the carbon buildup. All right, there you have it, guys. I'll take a few pictures, put them here in the video, but that's all I've got for you. That's my experience of cleaning a super dirty, disgusting, filthy compensator from just shooting a 22 LR out of the Ruger Mark IV 22/45 Lite. Overall, I think the Carbon Killer did its best. We definitely put it through its torture test. I think that, you know, given the circumstances and what it was really going up against was pretty hard. So in general, I think there's nothing else I could have used because I've tried to clean carbon before like this. And I think still the Carbon Killer is your best bet to at least help you remove the carbon and be able to soften it up for cleaning. And then definitely the Ultrasonic is a lifesaver. Go ahead and get yourself one of those. I got a few other videos up about my ultrasonic cleaning processes. And also something new is getting that Ultra Thinn or any kind of lubrication for ultrasonic cleaners is really going to help you also remove additional amounts of built up carbon and lead, while also soaking into the metal and giving you a nice barrier for prevention of future sticking of the lead and carbon. And then the Moly lube. So that's what I've used so far. We're going to check on this in another couple shootings out at the range and see if I can actually scrape this off and clean it a little bit easier and faster than I did today. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you like this video, go ahead and click like. If you like what you're seeing, subscribe to the channel and provide some feedback to me of what you'd like to see. Maybe there's some things I missed or things that I should be talking about or things that you're interested in all of the kind of reviews and things that I'm doing on the channel. And if you don't like the video, obviously you can just go ahead and click that thumbs down button twice. That's what it's there for. We'll see you in the next video.